gem from MM. Mickey about to drop a gem. 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 Here comes a gem. Here comes a gem. Here comes a gem from MM. Mickey about to drop a gem. Mickey about to drop a gem. Mickey about to drop a gem. Okay, now listen up.
What's up, guys? It's Mickey, and welcome back to another episode of Blank Canvas. All right. How is my BK fam feeling? I hope amazing, excellent, swell. I hope you guys are doing much better than me today. I just want to jump straight into this week's episode. Let's see. We are in 1 Corinthians and chapter 13, and I'm going to read a couple of different scriptures. So we are in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Pause me to find it. And I'm getting ready to read in 3, 2, 1. If I could speak in any language, in heaven or on earth, but didn't love others, I would only be making meaningless noise like a loud gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I knew all the mysteries of the future and knew everything about everything, but didn't love others, what good would I be? And if I had and if I had the gift of faith, so that I could speak to a mountain and make it move, without love, I would be no good to anybody. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it, but if I didn't love others, I would be of no value whatsoever. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Love does not demand its own way. Love is not irritable and keeps no record of when it has been wronged. It is never glad about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Love will last forever, but prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will all disappear. Now we know only a little, and even the gift of prophecy reveals little. But when the end comes, these special gifts will all disappear. It's like this. When I was a child, I spoke in thought and reason as a child does. But when I grew up, I put away childish things. Now we see things imperfectly as a poor mirror, and then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is partial and incomplete, but then I will know everything completely just as God knows me now. There are 3 things that will endure: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. I ended up reading the whole chapter 13 because I was going to read the scriptures, which is verses 4 through looks like 7, where it explains to you and God gives very vivid details of what love actually is. But I think verse 1 through 3 in chapter 13 is also a very important piece that comes right before God gets really specific on what love is. I just want to say thank you that we serve a God that was kind enough to give us examples. I've gone through what love is from the scripture and breaking it down, I feel like, on a couple of different episodes. And the funniest thing, this week, when I feel like the world is hyper-focused on love and what it's supposed to feel like and who you want to get it from, who you want to receive it from, the last 2 years has been one of the worst weeks for me, and I can't make it up. It has been, I don't know, I have felt so unloved and in a place where I don't want to give out that love. Now, I also don't hyper fixate on Valentine's Day simply because, number one, everybody deserves to be loved on and showered with love every single day. And then number 2, Valentine's Day is so close to my birthday. So, I expect to feel the love either way. So when I don't, and again, the last 2 years have been uniquely intentional. I feel like it's easy for me to get bitter. It's easy for me to get angry. It's easy for me to run. It's easy for me to shut down and not speak. It's easy for me to not address the situation and possibly never address it again. But I know that's the flesh, and I know that it would make the enemy like thrive. I know he'd love that. I was in a situation where I felt very unloved, and I felt like, because if you love me, you wouldn't keep doing behaviors and things that harm me, right? But who am I? Because who knows how much self-control and how much discipline someone else has. Who knows how someone else feels in the way that they choose to show love and not show love. We all express ourselves differently. Who am I to think that I'm the judge and jury? I'm not. So what I really should be doing, besides judging the heck out of other people who make me feel some type of way this week, is to reflect and look back at myself. What are all the ways that I'm not showing up in the ways that God specifically described the way love should be? For example, love is patient and kind. Do I feel like I've been patient and kind? I feel like I've been patient. I can't always say that I've been the kindest. I think my kindness has come out of my silence. But the longer I'm silent, the more I lose my will to be kind. So it's a double-edged sword. So I can say I've been patient, but not always kind. And even in my attempts to kindness, it's kind of like working against me, right? God also says love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Have I experienced jealousy? Mm-hmm. Have I been boastful? No. Have I been rude? Sure. Because again, too much silence leads to less kindness, right? So I'll take on that one. Love does not demand its own way. Let's sit with that one. Love does not demand its own way. Can I honestly say that I've been in a position where I haven't tried to enforce my way or the highway, my timing or nothing? No, I can't. So the same thing that I can so easily point out in others about me feeling as if their way or the highway, I can easily look at myself and in my life and in my actions and say, here are moments where I was like, my way or no way, my timing or not, because I feel entitled in a sense for my way or the highway, because I feel like, y'all can't see the air quotes, but I feel like, and feelings fluctuate and sometimes our heart can be deceitful, right? But I feel like I've been very patient. So why would it not be my way or the highway? We've tried your way or the highway forever. And I haven't seen positive results come from your way. So let's try mine. But is it really love if it has to be forced? Is it really love if you have to beg them to do it? If they truly loved you, wouldn't they be willing to do the things that would be helpful? If they really wanted to rebuild trust with you, wouldn't they do the things that would be helpful? If you really wanted to rebuild trust with them, when you do the things that would really be helpful? If you really love them, when you do the things that would attempt to bring you closer and not set you further apart? If I am in a mode where I am unkind and rude, is that me being loving? Absolutely not. So I'm hindering. If I am in a mode where I'm shut down and not communicating, does that give anybody else the chance to fix it? Absolutely not. That's where I'm showing up harmful. If I am in the position to run away, I'm out, this is uncomfortable, or I'm out because, again, I may feel like I've been trying so hard, not even acknowledging in those moments any of the other ways anybody else could have been trying with me. I'm just tired of trying. So now the trajectory of everything has to be changed because I'm fed up. Isn't that the way that I'm being harmful to the situation? Is that me showing love in those moments? No. Running, leaving abandonment wounds for somebody, which are not easy to heal, because those of us that have experienced abandonment know all too well those are not easy to heal. And when those wounds are open and salt is poured into them, boy, do they sting. So is that me showing love by creating those wounds in other people, or by pouring salt on already wounds that may have already created and making them sting? That's where I'm not doing that right. Let's keep going. Love is not irritable and keeps no record of when it has been wrong. I'm a complete failure at that. Complete. Love is not irritable. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. That's just a fact. Sometimes I'm very irritable. The longer I've been silent, the more irritable I become, which leads to me not being kind, which leads to me being rude, and again, me not showing love. Keep no record of wrong. If I was keeping no record of wrong, I wouldn't be able to point out so well and remember so vividly all the times where I was done wrong. I can tell you the date, the time, what was done probably, maybe before, maybe, depending on the moment. How it made me feel, what steps were taken to resolve or lack thereof. And that, I don't even know if I could say keeping a record of wrong is a blessing and a curse, because you got to have a memory so people don't walk all over you. But there is such thing as, there kind of is no moving forward in a sense if you can never let it go. If you can never not bring it up, or, but I actually just heard Natalie Todd from Transformation Church, when her and Mike Todd were on the Breakfast Club recently. This might not be her exact wording, but she was talking about basically like a shorter, like, reactive time. Like, sometimes there will be things that still trigger you from past experiences and things and problems that you may have experienced, right? But I no longer sit in that feeling as long as I used to. I no longer drag out, the negative emotions. They keep us separated and not close with each other for as long as I used to. I think she said something about her recovery time. Her recovery time is faster. And sometimes remembering the bad parts so well and so vividly make that recovery time longer and harder to bounce back from. Because we as women, and I know it's probably like a running joke, but scientifically, a lot of studies have been pointing out that our brains are more known to ruminate. I would love for my brain to ruminate on something good, and it's done that. But unfortunately, when it feels like the bad is outweighing the good, or the bad triggers a part of you that reminds your nervous system of such a terrible time for you, even if the good is outweighing the bad, that feeling, that gnaw, that anxiousness, that worry, that if you let this slide, this leads to this. If you let this happen, this leads to this. Or this is a red flag. It's never going to turn yellow. It's never going to morph into green. I need you to see red for red, right? It can keep you in that place when you ruminate on those moments and those memories. Just like sometimes ruminating on the good moments can help you remember who that person actually is. Sometimes all you can see is the version of them that hurt you. And it's not to say that that can't be worked out through over time, but it's a process. You'll have your good days, you'll have your bad days. And if you actually want to work through it and deal with it, you can't rush the process. And as a person who struggles with patience, you guys know this, I want to rush the process. Because contrary to popular belief, I don't want to ruminate on the negativity. I don't want to feel the feelings of not trusting. I don't want to feel the feelings of I can't love to my full capacity. I have to minimize who I am to shrink to fit the version of me that you want me to be, that you need me to be, and that's acceptable to you. And that's a painful thought, especially if you're loving a person and want to love a person to your full capacity, especially if you want to show up for a person at your full capacity, and especially if you're loving them with your all and you accept them for all, even the parts you may not like, but they want a smaller version, a shrunken version of you. That's a painful realization to come to. And that hurts. Another way, verse 6 says, it is never glad about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. I think that one's I'm pretty good at. Like, I'm not really a big on I suffer, I want to make you suffer too. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to certain situations in love that I've experienced, I think that's kind of the only thing that has also saved me from doing some other very, very sinful things that could have just deterred me further away from God and made me lose focus. And those sinful ways would have been nothing but distractions for me. And I know that it wouldn't have made me feel better in the long run. Because deep down, I don't really want the other parties to hurt the same way that I hurt. I want them to understand. Because I guess in the back of my head, I feel like if you understand the level of pain that this causes, if you understand how this is a hindrance in rebuilding, if you understand how this is a crack in the foundation, and every time I pour cement to make it smooth again, you come in with a jackhammer and you're literally nailing up the concrete. And then it makes you question, do you really want the foundation to be solid again, or do you not? Because some of us are still very good at being Jekyll and Hyde. You never know which side of the coin you're going to get, right? So I don't think wanting injustice is, no, that's not one that I really struggle with. But I have had moments of saying, well, maybe God, if they went through it, maybe God, if they could feel everything I did, maybe if I could recreate every single instance, wouldn't be exactly the same, but every main idea instance, send them through the general themes of what I've been sent through, maybe they'll get it. I think I'm back in my head and being then maybe they'll stop. But the reality is, no. There are some people who are fully well aware of their actions and their behavior, and they're making the choice to do that. And if you're in one of those situations, you have to pause and you have to grieve, this person is not who I thought they were. Or for some of us, maybe it's confirmation. This person is exactly who I thought you were. I tried to see and believe differently. So then you have to grieve that as well. You also have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for, you may feel like it's your fault. And I'm not to take any accountability away from any of your parts. And I'll speak for myself. It's not to take any accountability away from any of my responses, any of the part that I played, right? However, I have to forgive myself and I have to apologize to myself on not protecting us better, not loving us enough better, not having the strength to possibly walk away back then, or not even having the strength to know how to navigate the ups and downs of a rebuild, right? Because it's taxing on both parties. You can want to rebuild, but it's a lot that comes with it. And there are a lot of situations where it's worth it. But it's a risk and a gamble. And I'm not I don't like to lose. Okay. I don't like to lose. I don't like to waste my time. And so gambles are kind of like they're hit or miss, right? Because it may work out, it may not. And then imagine trying to rebuild and waste time with something that was just like not going to work out, period, in any form of fashion. Like you can't even get the solid foundation back right. And it's like, me personally, I'm thinking like, what did I even waste all this time for? Like I could have been focused on myself, individually healing, and never speaking or thinking of this person ever again. Like they could have been dead to me, not existing. That's just me and how I feel. Let's move on to the next one. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So that's verse 7, and that's the last one, but I want to break it down to individual parts. So verse 7, love never gives up, comma. Have there been moments where I wanted to give up? Yep. Yeah. Plenty. And then I'll see reasons to not give up. Sometimes I see effort in ways that's helpful, and then sometimes I'll look and be like, they don't give a bleep. They do not care. They do not care. Because if somebody really cared, they wouldn't let this happen. If somebody wouldn't care, they wouldn't let, they wouldn't let you feel this way for this amount of time. If somebody really cared, they would be willing to communicate certain things. But that same thing could be said about me for a person who shuts down, right? If I really cared, I would be willing to talk about certain things. If I really cared, I would speak just before a sudden removal of me from your life. Because it can happen like a wind, very quick, right? The next one was never loses faith. I think my faith in certain situations were so strong. I'm so strong, and it was fine. And then, like, again, crack here, crack there. Eventually, everything just shatters. Or, like, think of like a vase. If we're not thinking of the ground and the concrete, think of a vase. I've dropped it. I broke this piece of you. I broke this piece of you. And as I tape you up, this may not look like how it originally looks. If anything, it'd almost be better if we completely destroy this vase and make like a whole new one. So that's a process. But then also, let's say I've broken you down, but I haven't broken you enough where we have to do 100% starting over. Every time I pour water or liquid in you with those cracks, there's a chance it could leak out. And over time, let's just say I duct tape it. Over time, what if the tape gets wet enough and it starts to slide off? Then that's still leaking out again. Right? So you have those moments. So can I say that I have always had 100% faith in certain situations? Nope. And that's a part of love, though. Is always hopeful is the next one. I know for a fact I'm bad at this one. Because I'm not the half, the cup half full person a lot of times. I'm the cup half empty. And like, okay, this sounds cute, but what are all the things that can go wrong? Because I think my nervous system is so accustomed to everything going wrong and feeling like a waste of time that, yeah, I'm not always hopeful. That's a part of love. And the last one that was in verse 7 was, and endures through every circumstance. This I have faith in that is very possible for any relationship and any people involved. I believe that you can endure every circumstance. However, just because you can doesn't mean both parties are always willing to. Just because you can doesn't always mean you get the time to. Because imagine you heal one circumstance and then there's another and then there's another. And you're just going through this pattern of trying to heal from all the ways that you hurt each other. At some point, you got to be enjoying each other. It can't always be, I want to get my get back for how you hurt me. Or it can't always be, I'm running away. We're not even attempting to talk about this or work this out because I've seen enough. I've been patient enough, remember? But when I say all those things, I just think about if God loved me that way. Like if he lost faith in me. If he lost hope in me. if he got tired of being patient with me, if he got tired of being kind to me, right? Because even if it's time for you to end something, there's a proper way to end it. You don't have to be hostile. You also don't have to ghost unless your life is in danger, because sometimes it is easier to ghost away just for safety. But there's a level of kindness and consideration that can be taken into something, even if it has to end. And then for a person like me who's always so willing to end, there's a big power in the pause, honey. There's a power in breathing. There's a power in getting your thoughts together. There's a power in allowing people to show up in the best way that they can. And it may not be a way that makes you happy. It may not be a way that you would have shown up, but it's their version. And then you have to decide, is that enough? They have to decide. Let's say you don't say it's enough. Would they be willing to do more? Do you two find each other worthy enough to fight for it? Let me ask myself, do I find certain situations worthy enough to fight for? To keep going, to keep trying? Because this, I feel like, is getting me ready for so many different situations. Like, it's crazy. Like, God is revealing so much about myself, my patterns and my habits, what I'm willing to tolerate, what I'm not, what I do when I feel like I'm backed into a corner, and just different ways that I respond, ways that may work and ways that I need to work on. But the funny thing is how loving others can sometimes show you how maybe you're not as healed in certain places as you thought, or maybe you're not as kind in certain areas as you thought. You're not as patient. You do hold on and ruminate. Like, you keep that record of wrong. Some of us may be glad about injustice. We may want that get back. We may want them to feel what we felt. Some of us may want to give up. Some of us may have lost faith. Some of us may not be as hopeful anymore. And when I have those moments, again, all I think about is, what if God loved me that way? Because like I said, even if it has to end, there's some things you're going to have to fight for and that are worth it. But that's between you and the parties involved and God. Make sure you include God. There's some people that's worth the fight. Fight it. Fight the good fight. Seriously, fight it. Fight for them. But you can't be the only one fighting. It's got to be mutual. If it's just you, you will get exhausted. It will feel in vain. It will feel frustrating. It may even make you look at God like, what the hell am I? Why am I the only one, right? Why is it just me? It has to be mutual. Everybody needs to be fighting the good fight in that situation involved. But please include God at the center. And then, even if it is time for you to end it, like I said, there's a way for you to do it, where the way God calls us to love is still needed, even in an ending. So whatever he has called you to do, whether it's fight for something or end something, I just want you to remember that the way he calls us to love is a part of both. And it's there for us. It's there for the other people involved. And it's just one of the things he commands us to do. And again, he's not asking us to do anything that he needs. He's good. Anything that God asks us to do is for us. It will make us better in the end, even if it's hard along the way. So I just want to end this by saying, thank you, Jesus, for the way that you love me. Thank you, Jesus, for the way that you show kindness to me, empathy to me. I put everyone and everything at your feet, God, that I need to, in order to be able to move forward or move on. And I ask that you guide and you teach me and show me the proper way to love all your children, whether I like them or not. Show me how to serve each and every one of your children, whether I want to or not. and show me how to steward the people well that you have given me. I place everything and everyone at your feet, Jesus, and ask for your guidance and help, because I know that I cannot and I will not be able to do this alone without you. So that's all the time that we have for this week. Happy Love Week. I can't wait to see what we talk about next time. All right, guys. Bye.
Blank canvas, blank canvas, blank canvas, blank canvas. Don't know what the topic is, but we gon' talk about something on the mental, on the mind, weighing heavy. Society with the levies, kinda deadly. Silent killer, hard to daddy. Most killers had no daddy. Sadly, that's just what it be in my community. We got no unity. Dark skin wanna ruin me. I'm speaking fluently. So just listen, blank canvas.